What's up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. GG92. Today I'm going to talk about who would win between Freddy Fazbear and Bendy the Ink Demon. This versus rivalry has been a thing since 2017 and it is one of the greatest music in the entire human legacy. And this video is going to be more about fight sciencey type and will explain why would win in my opinion. And if you hate things like measuring, calculating, physics equations, then yes, you're in the right video, buckle it up. Five Nights at Freddy's is a really iconic game and pretty much everybody can agree that these animatronics can overpower any human and can crush bones and skulls. And that's pretty much it. There isn't any other action or feat display in games and movies. But however, in the novels, these guys are much stronger than you all think. Twisted Freddy was actually able to break the raw wall. In order to find how powerful this is, we have to measure first. Now, if you say Twisted Freddy is equally as fat as fuck with his regular Freddy, then we can measure it. And measuring the walls within it, on top of the using Griffith's energy criterion theory, which was a pain in the ass, the outcome being somewhere around 147,000 joules of energy. And the original animatronics were able to overpower these twisted ones. However, there's three problems. First thing is that we use the square sides instead of the actual fracture sides, so their actual power will be lower than this. Even if the original defeated their twisted one, it's still going to be lower than this. The second thing is that Scott did say that the books are not canon, and not just that the stage is different, the size is different, it's not just some art style thing, it is intentionally. Their attitude and behavior is even different, even the William outfit is different. And the third thing is that in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, Mangle was able to get dismembered by a bunch of small pieces of shit. Not just the shells, but even the endoskeleton. And keep in mind that these toy animatronics are supposed to be tougher than their compared to Fnaf 1 animatronics, so you can kind of see the fact that it is better if we separate the book continuity and the video game continuity. And when it comes to their speed, these guys are somewhat slower than human or as fast as average human, and they can teleport with it. We can see their jump scare animation trailer, Phantom Freddy and more. However, a lot of people like to say that these are not teleporting but moving so fast that human eyes can't catch up, not even after motion or any of like that. And yeah, there is somewhat implication, like, you know, like moving so fast like blurs in it, or like they're so fast that they can move as like fast as like racing car, but those implications only goes to, you know, implies to the Foxy, who we all know he doesn't teleport but run unlike the others. And even if you say that Freddy can move this fast and it's not teleportation thingy, it still matters the fact that he can use this speed as like a combat like Dragon Ball character. So compared to the Bendy and the Ink Machine, we can see that some of the ink creatures that are pretty strong. Specifically in Chapter 4, Bendy was able to bulletproof.
Oh, I didn't do nothing!
And beings like Brute Boris, Wilson, and Giant Hands. Oh god. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the party. So you all can see, beings like Brute Boris and Wilson can possibly even lift several thousand kilograms to even possibly many tons. And all of these characters I named are severely weaker than the Bendy, even in his Ink Demon form. Now when I say Ink Demon form, there's actually a stronger form than that, and that's called Beast form. We don't exactly know how much stronger he is, but we do know he immensely gets it. Now, when it comes to the actual larger part of the power, in Chapter 3, Henry and Boris were able to survive an elevator crash. Now, in order to find out how powerful this, well, I wouldn't say how powerful it is, but how dangerous this elevator is, we need to measure it. Now, if you say Boris is as tall as the average human, comparing with the elevator, this iron gate is about the same height as this iron bar gate is about the same. And testing the timer, even in 50%, it's clear that Henry and Boris was able to survive 58 million joules of power. And keep in mind that the Boris got more stronger and more durable by becoming Brute Boris, and was still weaker than Chapter 5 Bendy. After that, in Dark Revival, it was stated that this Bendy was more complete, but there's also even higher power this way, like in Chapter 5, Bendy was able to shake the upper layer of Studio, and was able to overflow North Wing and Main Studio. In terms of speed, similar to Freddy, Bendy has almost as fast as normal person's speed with teleporting ability. Although there is some better speed showcase like in same elevator crash, Alice snatched Boris really fast and Ink Demon could move as fast as like that. In Dark Revival, 2 of the 3 abilities are flow and fast travel. These abilities are in certain Ink creatures and like I said, Bendy could do probably the same thing. The answer is, if we compare the general idea of their power level, Bendy would pretty much overpower Freddy 7 out of 7. Keep in mind their speed is similar, but Bendy can tank bullets and can put a hole through a steel door, and Freddy is mostly made out of steel. But we could use the novel Freddy with, you know, like a textbook definition of wall level and gigabytes of energy absorption. Then pretty much Freddy has a huge advantage over Bendy by a significant amount. But however, if you use the higher feed display for Bendy, like the elevator crash to even possibly earthquake, North Wing destroyed, the main studio blow, those are more in the, you know, trillions of joules of power, and seemingly we kinda get the idea of who is stronger. But this is just the power scaling and shouldn't be taken serious.